Plato's allegory of the cave is a profound philosophical metaphor that explores the nature of reality and human perception. In this allegory, Plato describes a group of prisoners who have been chained inside a dark cave for their entire lives. They are positioned in such a way that they can only see the cave wall in front of them. Behind them is a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners is a raised walkway along which other people pass, carrying objects that cast shadows on the wall of the cave. The prisoners, unable to see the actual objects or the fire, can only see the shadows and hear the echoes of sounds. To them, these shadows represent their entire reality. One day, a prisoner escapes and notices a bright light ahead in the distance. Guided by a curious intuition, he draws closer and closer to this light. Every step, the light gets brighter and brighter. Eventually, he makes it out of the cave. Initially, he is blinded by the sunlight and struggles to comprehend this new world. As his eyes adjust, he begins to see the true forms of the objects that had been previously only shadows to him. He sees vibrant colors, textures, and the beauty of nature. Eventually, he comes to understand that the sun is the source of life and knowledge, illuminating everything around him, amazed and in awe of the real world. The liberated prisoner returns to the cave to share his newfound knowledge with the others. He faces hostility and disbelief. The other prisoners are comfortable in their ignorance and are resistant to the idea that their perceived reality is merely a reflection of a deeper truth. They cannot comprehend the existence of a world beyond the shadows they have always known, and they are unwilling to accept the painful process of adjusting their perceptions. The allegory raises significant questions about knowledge, ignorance, and the nature of reality. It suggests that most people live in a state of ignorance, perceiving only a fraction of the truth, much like the prisoners watching shadows on the wall. The journey from darkness to light symbolizes the philosophical quest for knowledge and truth, encouraging individuals to seek understanding beyond surface appearances. The carnivore diet, which consists exclusively of animal products, continues to gain popularity among certain groups who advocate for its health benefits. Proponents argue that it can lead to weight loss, improved mental clarity, and relief from various health issues. However, many people remain skeptical or critical of the diet, often due to a lack of understanding or exposure to its principles. This situation can be likened to Plato's allegory of the cave. Similarly, those who embrace the carnivore diet might understand its benefits and experience significant health improvements, akin to the escaped prisoner who sees the sun for the first time. However, many people remain entrenched in conventional dietary beliefs, viewing the carnivore diet as radical or unhealthy. They may see the shadows of traditional nutrition guidelines, fruits, vegetables, grains, and only moderate protein, as the only reality. The idea of thriving on an all-animal diet challenges their established beliefs and can provoke resistance or dismissal. The health benefits experienced by carnivore dieters may be difficult for skeptics to comprehend because they have not escaped the cave of mainstream nutrition. Just as the prisoners in the cave struggle to accept the existence of a world beyond their limited view, many individuals find it hard to accept that a diet devoid of plant-based foods can be healthy. They may rely on the shadows of their education, cultural norms, and prevailing medical advice, which often emphasizes a balanced diet that includes a variety of food groups and colors. In both cases, the challenge lies in overcoming deeply ingrained beliefs and perceptions. The journey toward understanding the potential benefits of the carnivore diet requires an open mind, a willingness to explore new ideas, and the courage to question established norms. Much like the journey of the freed prisoner who must grapple with the truth of his newfound reality. As more people investigate and start to understand the principles of the carnivore diet and its effects, perhaps they will be able to step out of their metaphorical caves and see the full spectrum of their human potential.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it. Okay?
And we are live. Welcome into the meat of the matter. This is where we meet, you matter. We are missing Mark today. He's on a well-deserved vacation. He's with us in spirit. And of course, we were scheduled to have Brian Kelly, the hunter-gatherer from Hunter-Gatherer Mindset and the carnivore community. But I don't know what's going on. We have a little communication. Hopefully he's okay. Everything's good. He's got the link, so hopefully he joins us when he can. And Peter, how you doing? It feels good to be back. You guys rocked it last week. It was nice to hear. Oh, you're muted. Now you're not.
Yeah, nice to hear, and I'm doing fine. I'm on day 12 of my raw meat only diet.
Oh.
And it's going well. I mean, I skipped a few days, so I added in a little bit of dairy. But I'm feeling great, and exercise-wise, is going wonderfully. I gained a little bit of weight again, so it's like all over the place. But yeah,
awesome.
The big thing is that you feel great on this lion diet first of all, and then for me personally, the raw diet is working wonders.
Well, that's what I think we're going to get into that today. But firstly, I just wanted to thank Victoria and Selena for filling in for me last week. They did awesome. Victoria is she's got such a wealth of knowledge, and Selena is absolutely beautiful. And that led us to bringing Brian on to substitute for Mark. And I just wanted to shout out to the carnivore community worldwide on Instagram. I believe they've started their YouTube stuff too. They're incredible, and I appreciate all their support for us. And, they are doing, their message is great. The conversations that I've heard on what they bring to the table is it's necessary because Peter, we're not doctors, we're not scientists. We just talk about this stuff, our opinions, our experience, and the carnivore community worldwide, I have to say, is the conversations I've heard on that and been part of actually have been great. It's real people, the real stories, the stuff that we're trying to promote and bring this awareness to the world because, people are healing. It's undeniable. And, there's always a pushback. Now, today, tying this into what we were going to talk about today is raw. Okay. There's a big stigma out there where people freak out about raw food or raw meat. And, in my opinion, we eat sushi and no one bats an eyelid. It's been part of the cultural, a piece of Japan's culture for, since the dawn of time. And that yet when someone says you eat raw beef, they freak out. So, I think we should talk about that, and we should talk about, is it necessary? What your opinions are on it. I would have loved to got Brian's opinion. I know he's not a big fan of himself personally. He doesn't eat raw. I've heard Jonathan. He's tried it. He's experimented, and of course Fleur. I know she's been drawn to it. And Peter, you have some pretty interesting takes on it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are afraid to tell. Even among the carnivores, they are afraid to tell others that they are eating raw meat because they either think they fall in the category of the Liver King, and or they fall in the category of the Primal Bros and all those youngsters that are now also following carnivore diets. Because among young people, a lot of young people, especially here in the Netherlands, it's very popular. But it's more of a trend than that it's done for health reasons. Because, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but it at least gives me the impression that the trend is more of an issue than actual health, because they are young people and they are usually doing fine, and they start to eat raw milk and raw meat and raw eggs. And where I find the distinction is typically when they start to eat also raw chicken. That is, for me, is a sort of red flag. Although it's actually also, if you source it well, it's fine. But there I get the feeling that it's a little bit more of an activistic thing than that it's actual health or pleasure or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're talking about high school age people, so 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And they are very popular on TikTok. They post a video of just the meat, just themselves eating it, and they get, like here in the Netherlands with 17 million inhabitants, they get hundreds of thousands of views and a very high percentage as well.
Yeah,
it's sort of a cult.
I've noticed your videos are starting to light up. Like, you've been progressing up there. That's good. I love it.
Yeah, well, I noticed the same a little bit, and that's just a feature of TikTok probably. As soon as you start to eat a block of butter or raw meat, then it explodes sometimes. Not always. It's actually either one of the two. So it either explodes or you get some negative comments, and it goes right away, the video.
No doubt. And I think, in my opinion, raw meat, I don't see there being a problem for sure. And I think there's some pros and cons, and it's probably a self-discovery kind of thing. I don't think there's any problem. I don't think there's any danger. And, people argue that it destroys nutrients or there's more nutrients, but then there's the argument for cooking as well, bringing out nutrients. And I think there's, ancestrally, we would have seeked ways to extract the most nutritional value in foods almost instinctively. And I mean, that's when you get into the bone broths and they're like utilizing the whole animal to the value. So is there a place for raw? I think so. I don't have a problem with it. I don't necessarily gravitate towards it, but I have done it and I enjoy it. And I actually.
How do you cook your steaks? Rare, medium rare?
Barely cooked. Like, I just sear the outside. Yeah. So I'm basically eating raw anyway. I find it's a different flavor profile for me. And sometimes it's, I have no problem eating beef sashimi. I have no problem, eating a raw steak and raw fat. But I think it might be for some people a texture thing. But, leading into this today, let's get into what some other people feel about it. And that brings us to our first video that we're going to sort of comment on, because I know it's somebody that you really love, Peter. And we will do this right now. Let's see what you say to this.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, God, don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a dietitian, and I cannot believe I have to say this in 2025, but please do not eat raw meat like that for so many reasons. Number one, it is much harder on your gut, as our digestive enzymes have to work overtime to try to break it down. Number two, cooking actually helps to enhance the bioavailability of certain nutrients like iron, zinc, and phosphorus, while creating anti-inflammatory peptides that don't exist when the meat is consumed raw. And three, Eating raw meat puts us at high risk of foodborne illness and parasites, which can then cause a dysbiosis in the gut. So it is really bad news bears all around. Honestly, watching videos like this makes me crave a big bowl of steamed broccoli so freaking
That's your first
bad.
problem.
And honestly, I didn't think that was ever going to be something that I specifically craved. Next.
Well, Abby Sharp. All right. There is so many.
Yeah, this is a good comment. Yeah,
for sure. Jonathan's got it, man. I don't think there's a right or wrong way about this. I think it's ridiculous to somebody to say you must only eat raw. And I think if somebody's eating raw, there's no problem with it. And in certain contexts, I think, like, depending on your condition, an severe autoimmune condition, it might be beneficial. And I mean, we have histamine intolerance, digestion, enzymatic production, so many variables. And I think there's no real right way. And that's obviously my opinion. I don't think anybody has to, but there may be certain cases where it's probably a very, very good idea. And I've heard carnivores, some people have to go where they can't handle the fat raw, but they only can eat raw. And they're doing it because they have to. And they've scaled back their diets to the Michaela Peterson way, but yet it's still not enough. And they're eating raw and they find it works for them. And I think there's no problem with that. And they freeze the fat and eat fat cubes. And, I don't see it. Now with Abby Sharp, I know you've had some issues with her in the past, Peter. I know it's, she's
well, not personally. So I've not been in her comment section or anything, but
in the carnivore community, I know a few people have just saying, but right away you can see I'm a dietitian. Listen to me. So right there with her green shirt, she's saying, and I think half that shit that she said is simply not true. I know a lot of people that have great microbiomes and they have no problem, like yourself. I would assume.
And raw meat can actually help with your microbiome because the enzymes and prebiotics in it, they get less destroyed. And for the same reason, I think, coming back to this comment as well, is that if you cook your meat, I do want to go as far as to say that you shouldn't go further than medium rare or so, because as soon as you go above, let's say you go to temperatures of 65, 70 degrees Celsius, so I don't know the Fahrenheit thing, but medium well done levels, you start to really destroy, first of all, bacteria, which, well, arguably is a good thing than the bad bacteria. But you start to destroy water-soluble vitamins, enzymes, and that sort of things. And of course, you don't destroy them all.
Yeah.
And I think even Bart Kay says that if you cook things medium and medium well done, even then, theoretically, you should still get all your vitamin C even, I think. But still, I would not recommend it. I personally really feel it. And it may sound funny, but now that I've done this 12 days so far of raw meat, because I've never done 12 consecutive days of raw meat, I really feel it. It's just, I don't know, serenity. It's quiet. It's good on the stomach. No issues, because also when you start to eat raw meat and then you eat cooked meat again, and you switch over and over again, your stomach doesn't like it. It's not that you go to the toilet or anything, but it's sort of, it's not really peaceful.
I've never given it an honest shot for X amount of time in a row. I'm just sort of on and off. Sometimes I just like it. And I like, mix an egg yolk in there, and it's delicious. I find it. And Fleur saying, in my experience, is often, once again, so different of this general narrative. I find raw meat especially gentle on the gut. I broke my last fast with little pieces of raw beef, and it felt good. And that just goes to show you, I think everybody do what like all these labels, like Jonathan mentioned with carnivore, like just, try it. If you like it, then, and you feel good, do it. And I mean, I'm a big proponent for that. If it feels good and you feel it, how can it be wrong? I mean, when you realize that all the arguments like Abby Sharp had are actually nonsense, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, you'd think in her logic, all the fish that you're eating raw throughout your life would have a big severe problem if that was the case. Why would fish be any different than beef? Unfortunately, conventionally raised chicken brings along salmonella, and I think that's where it all started from, probably, where they were hoarding the chickens together, and that became a problem. So they just said, "Hey, let's cook it," and it destroys it. But I mean,
that's the whole story with pasteurized milk and meat storage. Let's say in the beginning of the 20th century or before, refrigeration methods were not that good, and distribution channels were much longer because nowadays you can fly in meat even from Brazil and Argentina to Europe in a matter of days. And in the past it was not like this, and even going further, you would bring it on a ship. And the only thing you could do is salt it, and
hey,
of course you make mistakes there.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, then it's going to be serious problems, of course.
And I think that if you look at cowboys and what is beef jerky and pemmican and biltong? I know Byron in the comments, Carnivore Beats, listen to him, subscribe to his channel. He's South African, and they're a really big thing in South Africa is biltong. And I mean, it's all cured, dried meat with salt. And I think that would be, they weren't cooking. And yes, I agree. Rock roll. Thanks for chiming in, man. We would have been doing things, for in Bill Schindler's book, Eat Like a Human. It's a different outlook on things where all these practices, all these what's it called? Processing was to extract as much nutrition, even out of some plants. They had these certain practices that have been completely railroaded and abolished today for shelf-stable taste and preserve, all that stuff from the species of plants to the corns to the fermentation. We found ways to extract nutrition, and I think this raw meat thing is, if you look at even cats, and they argue taurine, and I think taurine might be one of those nutrients that actually is more present the fresher the meat is. And I mean, don't quote me on that, but I mean that's obviously, it makes sense with cats eating raw food. They would be killing their prey and then chowing down on the stuff and getting lots of taurine, right?
No, that's a good point that you mentioned, and I maybe I didn't even realize it. I mean, I do it as well, because if I buy meat to eat raw, I take the freshest meat possible. Or I defrost it. I mean, that's also possible, but it's still freshly frozen. And my butcher cuts the piece and packages it immediately. And with ground meat, for example, I used to grind it myself at home from bigger pieces, and I eat it right away. And then there is some leftovers, and let's say last half year, I would take those leftovers, and after 1 or 2 days, I don't eat it raw anymore because I don't trust it. It's probably still safe, but I prefer to cook it in that case. And so that's what I did. So I took 2 or 3 pounds of ground meat. I eat 1 pound on the day itself, and the other 2 pounds, they get formed into hamburger patties. But that's a good point, that automatically by eating raw meat, that you go for the freshest meat possible, and that's maybe even a bigger thing. That might very well be.
Well, Lisa's saying she went on a hunt with Inuit. Wow. Well, she lived in Nunavut. Nunavut is a territory in northern Canada for all the international peeps. They killed a caribou and right away passed around the bone marrow. Well, that makes, we've heard the tribal passing around the liver and, eating the heart. There's a reason why those rituals exist, when the warrior's eating the heart of the animal, and it's a real thing. It has to come from somewhere. And, all these warriors that are eating their heart as an homage to the animal or to the spirit, they're not dead. They didn't die. And, it's Game of Thrones, Khaleesi eating that horse. I don't know if that did it justice when she was eating the horse heart, but, they've been doing these things and these celebrations and these rituals since the dawn of time, obviously before civilization. And, now it's funny how we just get this modern twist and it's all of a sudden all bad. And we look at the carnivore diet just in general. people freak out about eating all meat, and it's just once you get past the bullshit, you
Yeah.
realize that it's got everything you need. And I mean, obviously, be careful. I don't suggest anybody go into a supermarket and all those
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
all
because
the
if you cook meat, that's also, I think it has to do with signals, also signaling to your body that you can first of all taste how the meat is when it's raw,
yeah,
and when it's cooked. Well, you can also just as well buy meat that is 3-4 days old in the supermarket here in the Netherlands. I looked it up. It can
Yeah.
theoretically be as old as 10 days.
Okay.
And because in the supermarket, I've seen it already that the expiration date lasts 7 days in the
Yeah.
supermarket itself. So you probably have to add up 1 or 2 days from the actual factory
Yeah.
and the slaughterhouse. But those things, well, you don't taste the difference, right? If you maybe if you take really fresh meat and make a hamburger from it and bake it, and compare it with the oldest one of 7 days old, you'll probably taste it a little bit, but otherwise it's just the same. And I suspect, and I've not read anything about it, maybe you, Tony, but maybe it's just a silly thought. I think there's really some signaling happening, and it has to do with everything that happens in your mouth and all the way down. There must be some things connected with the brain and signals that you get.
Absolutely. And Rock Roll says, when you say raw, do you mean straight from the fridge, seared quickly on the stove? Well, I think there's two sides to that. Like seared quickly, you're just killing the bacteria on the outside, if there's any, and the inside's still raw. Like, I mean, I technically, I guess I eat blue rare. Like, I mean, it's theoretically raw. I mean, it's still cold sometimes. And I mean, on the side of hamburger and ground beef, I think, where your producer or supplier is would come into play very significantly. I think that would be where it is. But one other thing is there's more E. coli poisoning with lettuce, spinach, and vegetables than there is in ground beef in the world, which is wild when you're opening up a bag of romaine lettuce and you're getting poisoned with E. coli, which is the hamburger, and I think we all have E. coli in our guts. I think it's a part of a natural thing. It's just that getting overwhelmed. And I mean, I would just say everybody, in my opinion, do you like? And Jonathan made a good point. Like, and I know I've heard from around that he was trying to promote a little bit of raw, but got a little bit of flack for it. And I think it's ridiculous. I don't think anybody should, be on anybody for anything, right? Just eat it, and I don't see that being a problem. And Byron makes a good. Oh, sorry, nobody. Fleur was saying something. Nobody's. Oh yeah, exactly. The bacteria on veggies. That's just. It's just common sense, right? Like people that freak out about this raw stuff, but yet they're eating. They just blindly trust.
I mean, how did we fertilize plants, especially in the past? I mean,
right? No doubt. Yeah, and that's right, Byron. I agree too. That would be the only issue when eating raw. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's you do you, and everybody, should just relax a bit about it. And I don't think we're trying.
One reason why people should relax about it anyway, and this is almost my standard response in comments below my videos, is the fact that if you want to kill off bacteria and parasites, you have to heat it up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way to the core of the meat. So core temperature has to be 150. And in other words, your meat has to be medium well done. And who likes a medium well done steak? I mean, hardly anybody.
In the comments, guys, if you give us a hell yeah if you eat medium well or well done or medium well, and thumbs down if you don't. I love it. Yeah, no doubt. I think once you start that, and I've heard a lot of carnivores as well, like they were well done people, and once they start getting the whole when they start eating for nutrition, they start come around to get less and less doneness. And that's what I was always a medium rare guy, but now I prefer, actually, if the meat is good quality, that's the way I look at it. If the quality depends. If it's a little bit worse of quality, you may have to cook it a little bit more. And if it's better quality, you can go towards the raw side of things. I mean, we've all had, even though the filet mignon, the tenderloin, isn't very fatty, it's beautifully soft and delicious, and I think you don't have to cook that at all.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. But Peter, let's switch gears a little bit, buddy. You showed me something. Do you want to?
Oh yeah, what I've eaten today. Today? Yeah, today. This week.
Yeah. He's Dutch.
Let's see what Peter's eating.
It's live this time.
He's fabulous.
So let's talk about fat.
Meet Peter.
Okay.
This is what I like the most about meat.
A blood sugar.
So I have this nice piece of how to call it, prime rib or
Ribeye, yeah.
I don't know, ribeye. It's quite a big one. I bought a piece of what is it? 6 pounds probably, 8 pounds, and cut it in 4, and it's stored in my dry aged chamber. And what I like is to cut off the fat, and I do that with a bread knife. So yeah, let's try it here.
Oh,
just like this. Well, the fact that I can just cut it while holding it in the air just shows that it's very easy. So you don't need a sharp knife, but yeah, it's all raw and it's really soft. And I eat it like butter. This, so I hardly buy any butter right now in these 30 days because I'm doing a 30 days raw meat diet. And yeah, you can eat it like this.
Love it.
With a little bit of salt on it because the outside already has some salt because I have dry aged it. And yeah, it's wonderful.
I love it. Yeah,
you can also just eat one piece all at once.
Who's hungry now? Like, who's in the comments? You guys tell us who's ready to eat that piece of beautiful piece of meat that Peter's eating. I'm jealous now. I don't usually eat breakfast, but I'm ready. Wow, that looks good. Wow, nice. Peter's always got some things to do, and I'm really happy that you're experimenting with this stuff, Peter.
Yeah, and the thing here is that so. It's a bit an automatic reaction. I ran to the fridge just before this episode with the idea of, let's store it in the fridge because 1 hour outside, it's not good for the meat. But since I started eating more raw, since about 1.5 years ago, my fear for spoiled meat has also reduced because I am more realistic now.
Yeah.
In the past, before Carnivore, I would not eat anything that was even pink inside, so a hamburger or so.
There you go.
I would really not eat it. And now, it can easily, I mean, it's not recommended, but this is a big piece. It is dry aged. It will remain cold for quite a time, so if it stays outside for half an hour, it's not going to do anything bad.
Well, that's what you're eating today, buddy. I'm jealous. I think there's a lot of people that are.
Let's see if can cut a little bit from it.
That's awesome.
1 second. This is how it looks on the inside.
Oh wow, that looks Wagyu, buddy.
Yeah, and I bought like, I don't remember. It was like $10 for 2 pounds or so. It was really cheap.
What? I'm moving to the Netherlands, buddy. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, right away from the slaughterhouse, and
oh wow.
Probably given the amount of fat, it's not 100% grass fat or so. It's probably also grain fat, but I'm not dogmatic or anything, and it tastes nice. And of course, if you take Wagyu meat, that's also grain fat.
I bet you've got about, everybody watching this right now is going like, oh yeah, that's something the carnivores have in common. We're like, ooh, that steak, man. I love it. Peter's getting messy. That's beautiful. Hey, all the Canadians out there, how do you feel about that price? What the hell is going on over here? So how much was it, Peter?
Yeah, well, this was insane. It was 10, and of course, there's also a lot of bone. and I had to
Yeah.
process it myself. It was like maybe converted to dollars, like $12 for
Wow.
a little over 2 pounds.
What?
But
That's
yeah,
just-
normally it's like what is it? 30.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
like what I'm saying. You go to the supermarket here and then get a ribeye that big, you'd be like, you'd be broke.
Yeah. At the supermarkets, it's even worse. It's like 40, 45 probably. You don't find these big pieces here. That's we don't have the US style supermarkets. So you get these tiny pieces of like 7 ounces at best.
Right on. That's great. Well, Peter, thank you for sharing what you're eating. And thank you to Byron, Carnivore Beats, bringing about this sound bed, this magical what Peter eats. He's Dutch. He's not weird, and he's a meat freak. Meat skip. Thanks, Peter. Awesome. All right. Well, Mark's not here today, so he sent me a message, and he's like, you guys went on a little bit of a tirade last week about this nonsense, but I want to kind of recap it. He sent me the video and his message was, rip this guy up on Sunday. So let's try.
These guys are getting richer while you're getting sicker. Write that down. 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 These foods are highly processed, complete garbage, and I can promise you now, I wouldn't even give it to my fucking dog. Write that down.
Like Impossible Burger, that's not necessarily
No,
healthy.
time out, hold on. That is like the most manufactured.
I know, that's not healthy.
No, not even healthy. An Impossible Burger has like 50 ingredients that you cannot pronounce, and it is made in like a lab, and versus a cow. If I had to choose like a double cheeseburger from Culver's or an Impossible Burger, it's a double cheeseburger every single day. That is better for you. Like, it's not even close.
For one, the Impossible Burger has 21 ingredients, and if we exclude the added vitamins and minerals, it's 15, not 50.
You forgot to mention these. Honestly, I thought we were past this, but apparently not. Guys, I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. Okay, these oils are just toxic. That's all they are. These oils are going to create free radical damage in the body. Okay, I can't stress this enough. These oils are highly processed and it will lead to an awful lot of inflammation in the body. It's not a matter of if, it's when. If you don't believe me, I have many, many videos on my feed showing you people how these oils are made. But if you don't believe me, I want you to go into Google. I want you to type in how these seed oils are made and you can see it for yourself.
And whether or not Charlie Kirk can pronounce things like tryptophan or leg hemoglobin has no bearing on whether or not
Okay. Well, thank you, Mark, from your holiday place for giving us that little snip, because I am going to talk about that Dr. Nagra guy for a bit and what he said about leg hemoglobin. And I've been doing a little bit of research and I've been doing a little bit of like thinking. So I saw Dr. Nagra, and I agree with Jonathan here. Like, I'm sorry, but this guy, I watched a debate with Dr. Nagra and Anthony Chafee. And I don't think Anthony Chafee was aggressive enough. And the nonsense that was coming out of Dr. Nagra's mouth about supplements being better, he was strawmanning him the whole time. Well, what if the supplements were better? That doesn't make sense. And he was using these arguments, basically debate tactics, to trip up Dr. Chafee's responses. But he was basically saying, but they're not. That was Anthony Chafee's response to all of it. Yeah, but they're not. And yeah, but it isn't. And yeah, but it's, and there's all these yeah buts. Now, tryptophan, okay, animal-based protein, you can supplement it, of course, but why the fuck are we trying to get this stuff in things that don't have to be? Anyway, that's one side of it, is yes, there is some fortification in these lab-grown or processed meats. But why do we need to do that? Now, why are they making these meats? And this leg hemoglobin. Okay, so when we look at a hemoglobin molecule, it's iron-based. When you look at a chlorophyll molecule, it's magnesium-based. Almost the same molecular structure. So when we're talking leg hemoglobin, why would they do that? Why would they insinuate that we can get, and this is marketing, and they synthesize this from soy in a lab and they bring it out and they extract it from yeast and they grow it, it is patented and it's a money-making cash grab. There is no nutritional value to leg hemoglobin. The only reason it's there is to trick you into thinking it's bloody. Why would you be eating it in the first place and need to be tricked if you're going to eat bloody stuff? Or even though steaks aren't bloody either, but you know what I'm saying. And this leg hemoglobin is it's a joke. And like anything that this guy has to say about these ingredients, Mark's right. Seed oils. Why the hell is seed oils in anything in our diets? And they're trying to promote this as better, which I have a big problem with. Why are they saying these are better? They're not as sustainable. There is a shit ton of ingredients. All the good ingredients in there are supplements. You might as well go to the GNC and start, building your medicine cabinet of supplements of essential nutrients that we can get. You just eat meat. Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was just messing around with the comments. So
yeah,
I think Fleur was saying I'm starving, but I think that was during my fat episode, not this one. Sure. And I don't know the ingredients of this one, but usually it's so this one is made of soy, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's also made of gluten, and so in very many cases, also the protein profile is not complete.
Yeah.
And vitamins, they are all substituted there, so that they are not as bioavailable as in the natural foods. Vitamin D2 versus D3 and that sort of tricks. The B vitamins as well. If you want to take a true B1 vitamin, you shouldn't take this. I forgot the name, but you should take some other form.
Amphetamine.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of things. And with B5, it's the same. You have a P5P version of the vitamins.
Pantothenic acid,
but even then, if you would do that. Even if you do high quality supplements, then still it's not natural, and it's not in the natural food matrix that it occurs. And you're totally right to focus on this leg hemoglobin thing. It's just playing with the people's mind that people do want to eat meat in the end.
Yeah. And I mean, I did a little searching with our good buddy ChatGPT and found out a lot of stuff about this. And the whole it's on the GRAS list. We all know about that. Everybody is generally recognized it's safe. He also mentioned there is no nutritional value whatsoever, and the actual effects of this leg hemoglobin are basically unknown. There's never been a study. There's never been there's never been a study for nutrition, period, right? But anyway, so what the hell they're doing now? I just want to throw a hypothetical situation out there, which is.
And Tony, could you tell me because I don't know it, so maybe also other viewers don't know it. But what does this leg stand for? So is it some kind of legume? Okay,
right.
So it's made of lentils or so, or
well, it's made of soy. So
soy.
It's made of soybeans, and then they extract it, and it's patented. So this is obvious. Like the flag right there is that it is made to make money. It is not made for our health, and what I see is a trick. So all the people that are like, "Ooh, well, it's better. Plant-based is better, and this will make it bloody." It's like vegan cheese. Just don't eat fucking cheese if you're, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But here's what it's like. We have hemoglobin. Plants have chlorophyll. Okay, so we're gonna go up to a tree. Hey, tree, you look low in iron. Let's give you some blood, and make you eat this stuff that has nothing to do with your. And the problem is, there's something that I know quite a few of the people in our comments in our show will know this, but it's called molecular mimicry. So when you're giving your body something that's almost like something, but it's not, your body can get fooled into either A, causing an autoimmune response, or not produce the thing that it is. And we know with plant sterols and phytosterols that's what happens with cholesterol. And like we know that I mean, glyphosate, glycine, it's the same kind of thing. It tells your body, hey, it's there, but it's not. And this leg hemoglobin is close enough to, from what my understanding, that it's like it's gonna possibly mess with your blood. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be, but it's this ridiculousness that is not studied, not test of time. How long is Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger? Jonathan's coming on. We got Jonathan.
Hey, there we go. Nice to see you guys. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Are you still? I just had to charge my phone a little bit. Are you still talking about? Oh, did I just lose connection?
Nope, you're good.
No.
Oh, okay. Are you still talking about this? I was thinking. I think we should start calling it like a tofu salad and some. I don't know, wacky Halloween costume or something. That's more what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not nutrition.
No. And that argument, Jonathan, I'd love to get your take on it, man, because you're the next gen, the young carnivore avenger. I love it. And what do you think about that? Like the Dr. Nagra arguments. Like I know you said it was a joke, but what do you think?
I don't remember specifically what he said in that video. But what I've seen from him in general, it's been a while since I looked at him because he's just annoying, to be honest. Like at some point I just decided like there's no point in even listening to what he says because it's all just basically what I see from him is a bunch of gaslighting. He's trying to redirect the attention to other things instead of what's actually being discussed. He's gaslighting people, all that pretty much. And he doesn't seem to have a proper understanding of what real science is, right? He's still one of those people who are stuck in the loop of thinking nutrition science is science, which we all know it isn't. It isn't. Yeah.
No doubt. For anybody that's just doesn't know who Jonathan is, he's Norse Carnivore. The boys had a great interview. He came on my channel. We had a talk, and he's the up and coming generation. And I love it, Jonathan, that this whole you being so young, realizing this stuff so early on. It's very important for people to follow, not only follow him, the Norse Carnivore, everywhere on social media, but this is great because what blows my mind is, like you mentioned, the gaslighting and the nonsense. It seems like this guy, this Dr. Nagra, and I don't mean to be offending him personally. I'm assuming he has the best of intentions. I hope.
Yeah.
But he's always trying to use these gaslighting tactics, and it falls back on the same bullshit that what ifs and well, how do you know? And it's like, well, how do you know anything? Right? Like we can go talk in circles. And that's what I find he does. He talks in circles and he uses more of these straw man convincing tactics than he does actual real evidence, which is, we know, is impossible because it's not there. And I mean, that whole leg hemoglobin, and I mean, if everybody here, I'd love to get your take on it. It's like, okay, well, they put folic acid in cereal. Is that good? No, they've proven it now. It's a synthetic B vitamin. Folate is natural. Folic acid is, they spray that on crops telling you, oh, it's in there. It's good for you. And, if that whole narrative falls apart just with folic acid. So I'm assuming folic acid would be in Impossible Burger. And this is just the crap that we deal with all the time. And it really, really makes me mad that, if you're going to eat things, good, go for it. But, it's a mess. So having voices like Jonathan come on and talk to the youth and the next generation of human beings, it's really important. And thank you, Jonathan, for coming on and hanging out. So I hope Brian's okay. I think Jonathan's internet just might have froze. But anyway,
yeah.
So I don't know if you guys actually discussed that last week, Peter, like you guys, but I mean, Mark sort of sent into it, and this guy is just it's unbelievable, the indoctrination and the crap. And I know, and unfortunately, I got to mention this. It's my morning, but Bill Gates is involved with Impossible Burger, and that is actually the one with leg hemoglobin.
Yeah, and I think that this whole idea of making fake foods illustrates nicely a problem that we have in nutrition science overall, and that's the fact that we are overconfident. We think that we can just compare two foods, a natural food and a Beyond Burger, and tell that they are nutritionally equivalent because we have measured probably the fats and the protein amounts. And maybe we measured a little bit of vitamins, and then we claim that they are nutritionally equivalent.
Yeah.
So we are. I mean, going back to Plato in your intro video, he would call it hubris. So it's just like overconfidence, but also arrogance, in my opinion, to think that you are able to tell that all these complex things, all these enzymes and micronutrients, and the whole interaction with your body and all those things, that we can just put that aside and look at a table of ingredients in the food ingredients components and say that they are the same. And that's what happens in nutrition science in general. We just pick out some things, in a certain context as well, for a general population, for average people, and then we just convert it in a very general statement, extrapolate it to all populations, and make very bold claims about it.
Fleur's saying this, and I want to get Jonathan's take on this. I generally find carnivores super cool and relaxed compared to vegan peeps who gaslight instead of talking real science. Yes. And Jonathan, you're part of the carnivore community. What do you think about carnivores being cool? Like, what's your experience with meeting all the carnivores out there and becoming part of it? What's your experience?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say on like the synthetic, like them adding synthetic vitamins and minerals and stuff, you'd think should be pretty obvious that if you have to add something to it, right, that it's not actually a proper diet. There's something wrong with the food in itself. If you have to add a bunch of stuff to it, it should have it already, all the B vitamins, if it's a proper diet for humans. But also, on the carnivore community as a whole, people are just so cool. I didn't start my own social media pages and like telling my story and share my experiences and stuff. I didn't start doing that until like 1.5 years or something into this whole thing, and I didn't really have any expectations. I just had this feeling that I can't wait anymore. I have to speak up. And you suddenly just stumble upon like random people, and then they contact you and tell you like, oh, I really love the thing you put out and all that, and should we do something together? And just you start connecting with people and start getting into groups with people, like getting on these lives and connecting with real people. And what I've seen, not to like shit talk about the vegans, but what I've heard from, because there are a lot of carnivores who are ex-vegans, right? A lot of people say vegan is the first step to carnivore, right? But
or it will be for sure.
Yes, I've heard from those people every single time. What I hear is that the vegan groups are all about hate and revenge towards people, like shouting down others who don't agree with them. Like their approach isn't even to try and convince, or maybe they think they are, but when you shout down someone and say you're wrong and you're a horrible person, how are you expecting that to change their mind, really? But from people I know who were previously in that vegan space, the group chats and like the friend groups or whatever within that space that they have seems to be only centered around the hate and attacking others who don't agree. While the carnivore space, all I've come across myself is loving people who want to cheer each other up, right? And like we have each other's backs. We want to help each other get our messages out there and help each other grow, thrive, right? And we're just nice people. I think the carnivore community online has almost become my real family, almost more
That's
than
it.
the one in real life. And I actually talk to them more than friends and family and all that at this point, to be honest. I think, yeah, just because our values align more and we see eye to eye on more things, like-minded people.
Well, you know what, Jonathan, you mentioned a good point because,
I
yeah,
can't hear you.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you, Peter. Good. Um,
Can
Jonathan.
you hear me, Jonathan? Oh,
Can you
no,
hear
then it's
Peter? Okay.
we can't hear
Is it
both.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. But I think Jonathan, he touched on a good point there, and I think this is the kind of the spiritual side of things that I think gets overlooked in this is when we do this and we start feeling good inside. When we start feeling
I hear
good,
you.
okay, perfect. Your point about that, and I think I understand a little bit, and I want to set this straight. We're not trying to dog anybody. I don't care what you do. I hope all the best and bless everybody for the most health they can have. But what I think happens with carnivores compared to what we were talking about with the vegans is when you start feeling stuff inside you and you're taking care of yourself, what happens? Naturally, your projection to the outside is for the people. And I find with the vegan ideologists, not the people that are, there's some good, like people that are concerned about health. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the whole idea. It's the outside trying to make them feel better. They pull the outside in. Most carnivores are themselves inside out. And I think that's the thing is when you start screaming at somebody for something that they're doing, that's where it gets, like Jonathan mentioned, the hate. And I think it comes across like that, even though their intention is to maybe make the world better. But it's just what happens when you externalize everything. You're probably miserable inside. And that's probably why we find a lot of the carnivores they've had such profound things happen to themselves. They just want to share and help. And I think it comes from a great place. And I mean, obviously that's my opinion. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but it's not a coincidence that like the carnivores in this community, the people in the chats, the people that support the show, and they're really cool. And I found a new lease on my social media presence because of it, because people have been supportive, and it's truly amazing. And I think I hope we can change the world because we all care about humanity and we care about people healing.
Yeah.
It's not about what.
Yeah, I've said it before, I think, to others that I actually have a great deal of compassion for the vegans and like vegetarians, whatever, because I think, especially when they act that way, because I think they do it because they're hurt people, they're struggling. Otherwise, they wouldn't be acting that way. And they also, I like to think, most of them are also looking for the same things as us, right?
Yeah.
Health and like whatever's greater for the planet, like or for humanity as a whole, right? I think we all have the same goals. We just see it in different ways, and I believe they're misguided, right? And I think the way they choose to react and act towards others in this way that at least seems hateful and very angry, I think it's just an indication that they're really struggling with themselves, really.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a very valid point. And and I know like I was listening to the conversation on the carnivore community yesterday, and they had a farmer, a producer, a beef producer. I think his name was Jeff, I believe. Anyway, he was in Austin, Texas, and he has people coming out to his farm helping out. And like, I don't know one carnivore that wouldn't do that. I don't know one carnivore that, if possible, would raise their own animals. They would do it. They would be part of the process. They would be open arms. I mean, we all have our modern lives and our situations where, obviously I'd love to be a better human, but I have a problem when people start screaming at us when they're shopping at Whole Foods, they're in their apartments in cities, telling people that they're unsustainable and not green and climate change and bullshit, when they're plugged into a system that is a self-defeating prophecy of the means of pollution and sustainability, and they're accusing us or you or us about that argument. And I don't like that at all, because I'll tell you what, if you want to be a vegan or you want to be I know farmers, try and grow enough food for yourself for a year. You need some space, you need some land. It's not easy, and if you're eating only plants, you're victims. Naturally, you would be a victim of the season. And I think we lost Jonathan again. I think he's in Norway.
Oh, yeah.
But and that's where I have the biggest problem is like just the logic and the reason and the food matrix. It's a tricky, touchy subject, and I don't like to get political, and I don't like to get sort of on that level. But it's obvious that there's a lot of ignorance and just ridiculousness. And Peter, I think you have the right to do what you got to do and live your life to the best of your ability and to be as healthy as possible by any means necessary, if it's not hurting anybody else. And that's a whole other animal. That's all good, buddy. We got the
yeah. I'm trying a different browser this time. It seems like Google Chrome's having some issues with StreamYard specifically. Or something.
What's funny? I don't know if you guys let me. I want your take on this. It's really funny every time we talk about some controversial things, people's internet start glitching out. It's just I don't my tinfoil hat's on a little bit here, but we've talked about it, and it's really interesting because Jonathan's laying down the law about this bullshit, and all of a sudden his internet's going a little bit.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Like I had a chat with someone the other week, which was like probably the most controversial chat I've ever had, right, on like a podcast. And they were talking about like these, and from the second that's discussion or that like topic came to the discussion, it just started glitching the entire time. I fell out, he fell out, and it just never stopped. And I said to him, this definitely seems like someone's trying to stop this conversation from taking place, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, every time Mark seems to Peter, when Mark goes on a little bit of a rant, he tends to like the Irish.
Mark has internet problems always. So
I think it's unforeseen forces. Well, Jonathan, what's your take on raw food? Before we sort of wind this up, I want to know your take. I know Brian told me that you tried to sort of go with it a little bit and got a little flack. So what's your take?
Okay, yeah, so basically, I actually, for most of my carnivore journey, I have been eating mostly raw meat. So I've been doing it for almost 2 years, and most of it I did raw meat, and I feel my best when I do that. But my problem is actually people on social media, because the second I'm on camera eating raw meat, it seems like the algorithm always picks it up and sends it to those people I talked about in the chat that are going around telling people that, oh, you're doing it all wrong and you should stop calling yourself carnivore because you're eating raw meat. Come on, guys. Stop like, like you're only like discouraging people from doing like the best thing they can do for their health, right? It's not helping anyone. And it's almost like the vegans, right? You're not here telling me, trying to educate me on maybe why you should do something. You're just saying you're doing it wrong. So it's basically every single, because I was never like dogmatic, or it was never a rule for me. So sometimes I did eat cooked meat. And when I posted about me doing that, I had these people messaging me or commenting saying, "You're doing it all wrong and I'm gonna unfollow you and I never want to see your face again because you're eating cooked meat." So,
Yeah.
um, so pretty much at the moment, at least for now, I'm pretty much just eating cooked meat, at least when I'm filming, because I want the algorithm to get me the fuck away from those people.
It's sad that that has to be the way, right? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a bit double, right? I mean, we should also not be force ourselves to do these things, and
yeah.
we
I
should
mean,
still do what we are used to do for ourselves. And but yeah, it's a difficult thing. And indeed, you mentioned the word religion, but if you go to those Jonis and Gotis people, then indeed it has a bit more of religious elements, and they tend to believe everything that Gotis tells. And in my
Yeah,
opinion, there is a
exactly.
lot of sensible things that he tells,
mm,
but it becomes problematic as soon as you just accept everything, like salt being totally bad for you, and ignoring all the arguments that in nature also animals seek out salt when they need it, that sort
yeah.
of things. And there are a bit more things like what else? Well, yeah, the fact that indeed cooking your meat is right away bad. That's just nonsense. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's true, and then, like, these arguments are very valid, and I think that's the thing. I mean, if you were starving and you're a hunter gatherer, like coming out of your cave, and you had a hunt, and you may not have, for some reason, like you're isolated, or the tribe had to do something, you would be putting the bones in a pot if you had one and a fire and cooking it to get that extraction and bone broth, and that makes sense, And I think I don't know one guy anyway that doesn't love a barbecue. Why? What's
well,
the
that's one thing that I forgot to
like
mention, Tony.
fire grill?
That's Tony. That's one thing I wanted to say about the cooking meat. It also has to do with the cut of the meat. So yeah, this
Absolutely.
rib meats, they are very tender. You can eat it right away. But yeah, so yeah, those stew meats anyway. Well, you can eat it raw, but it's not really pleasurable. And yeah, bone broth and yeah, some other things. It makes sense that in the past we would cook it to actually make nutrients more bioavailable in this case. But in the case of a rib roast versus raw meat, I think, strictly speaking, raw meat will probably win in terms of nutrients. I mean, it's not a huge difference,
Yeah.
but I personally feel better on it. But I also felt 10 times better eating cooked rib roast at the start of Carnivore. So,
Well, Jonathan, you eat a lot of different types of meat. Is there any type that's better raw, or do you notice the different? Like, obviously, with where you are, you said it before that you have a different array of ruminant meat. And what do you find? Like, how do you do it?
What do you mean?
Well, you eat reindeer, right? You eat goat.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
find the difference? It's like your raw meat. It doesn't matter what kind you eat it raw, or do you?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I've eaten all of them raw.
Yeah. Is there
Yeah.
any specific one that you're like, okay, I like that cooked, or I like that more raw, or is it just?
I actually think, strangely enough, the one type of meat I like better cooked might be beef, but I'm not a big fan of beef in the first place.
Okay.
I actually prefer like lamb and mutton and goat and stuff, but I think it's more of a cultural thing
Yeah.
because most of our traditional dishes here in this country in Norway are made from like lamb or mutton or more or like reindeer, right? More
Yeah.
strongly flavored meats. And I actually the kind of game taste that a lot of Americans and stuff say they don't like. That's exactly what I like about it. And when I then taste beef, I just think, to me, it tastes bland. It's like boring to me. So I think that's actually what I had to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I mean I know people get a little turned off when it's like depending on the grass that the cows are grazing on, grass fed, grass finished. Then you get into the whole grain finished taste. I don't know. Like, you know what? I think I like the game. I like that sort of that gamey, bitey taste. And I know some people that just can't handle it at all, and they'll freak out about it. And I think we would probably gravitate to what we like. And I mean, when we look at what we would have been doing on the hunt, I don't know if we've been choosing flavor profiles too significantly, like on the survival side of things. I think it might be a different ballgame. I don't know if we lost Jonathan.
No,
We're
we
having
lost him, yeah.
today. Oh man. Let's see here. Let's do this. And Bri Biscuit, yeah, man, it's true. I mean, yes, that is true. The sad and carb eaters can live in the noise. I absolutely 100% agree with this. And quite often, finding your own way. I mean, I promote that on my channel, and taking the power back to the best of your ability and being the best version of yourself. I mean, that's what it's all about. And I think we all can have different.
Oh,
there we go.
Long time no see, guys.
Hey, buddy. But I think what I was just saying, Jonathan, is like we all have our own way. And I mean, I think finding your own way and listening to people and sharing opinions and trying things, not being dogmatic and trying to be, like I said, the best version of yourself. And it's okay. We can disagree and we can try things. And I want to know from my buddies, Jonathan and Peter, if you guys do something and all of a sudden you feel fantastic, that might not work for me. That's okay. It's all good. And I think we overcomplicate everything, especially in this way of eating. We're trying to get back to basics, back to nature, simplify it. If you eat cheese because you like it, oh my Lord, man, you're not carnivore. Like whatever, that means nothing to me. And I mean, God forbid you eat a little sauerkraut, you got to throw in your carnivore card because that's just bullshit.
Or blueberries. I mean, blueberries are fine as well. Once in a while. And
I think in Norway, Jonathan, your seasons will be a little bit as extreme. I mean, I'm in Vancouver, so I'm not a real Canadian as far as the weather goes. We have a little bit of it's a little bit lax here. It's not the Great White North as most people think it is. But in Norway, your season, like what happens in the wintertime? What would be the berry or fruit or any option in the winters where you are?
The berry or fruit in the winter? That's like the kind of berries or fruits where they're gonna kill you by just looking at them. That's the kind of stuff.
It's the red berries.
Yes, yes, exactly.
No doubt. And I think that has a big part to play in this too, right? Like, I mean, we wouldn't have been eating this stuff if it wasn't available. And I think that's the other argument. And I'm sorry, in my caveman self, if I came across a bush of blackberries and I knew they were safe, probably eat them till I couldn't eat them anymore and then move along to the next hunt. But
yeah, but I can actually go not too far away from my house and see wild blueberries, or I think they're called bilberries technically. Okay. And like wild strawberries and stuff. And this is the size of them.
I bet you they're not that sweet. I mean, they're probably
no, they're pretty sour actually. And I remember them from when I was smaller, right? Picking them and stuff. And I mean, they're a little sweet, but they're quite sour and they're really, 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 really tiny. You're not getting a lot of them. Yeah. And they're not here for very long.
Yeah, no kidding. They're really seasonal local. And Bri Biscuit made a good one. Autoimmunity and casomorphins have limited dairy. I've heard a lot of stuff recently, actually, and I'm going to segue this into maybe one next week. The species of cow matters and how North America has changed what they've done to the cows. It's mind-blowing. If you think they GMO'd wheat and seeds, it's interesting in how people now with the A1, A2, but we're going to probably get in that to another episode because I want to get into maybe the next evolution of this is raw dairy and why it seems to be I can go to jail in Canada for eating or selling raw dairy, but yet you can sell me all the craft dinner you want, and anyway, that's it. But maybe we'll get into it. But Jonathan, thank you so much for jumping in. I hope Brian's okay. I know he would never. It's probably some kind of technical thing or something's gone on, and he's supposed to be on there. But I'll ask him if he can come on next Sunday because he brings a wealth of knowledge and the backbone and his his ness is amazing, and I love getting into it with Brian about all the nonsense out there. And Jonathan, you too, man. Like you are a bright spark in this space, man. And I appreciate you and your wisdom, and I do appreciate you for coming over and jumping in and adding a little
in and
flair.
out, in and out, in and out.
That's all good. We're keeping us on your toes. But Jonathan, how do people find you, and where do people get a hold of you? And let them know where you're at.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on a little bit. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys, and you're also doing amazing things. Keep up the great work. My social media, I'm on pretty much every platform, I think, of the big ones. And I go by Norse Carnivore, Norsc, from my kind of ancestral lineage being from Norway.
Nice. Nice. And on behalf of Brian, please check him out. He's the Hunter-Gatherer Mindset on Instagram, and he's part of the carnivore community worldwide.
Oh, we lost him again.
If anybody needs or wants or is curious about carnivores and to see how carnivores think, act, talk together, that community is so big and powerful because it's real people having just real conversations. No, there's no specific agenda. It's all just having talks about our way of eating and our lifestyles, and it's fantastic. And so check them out. And a big appreciation to Selena for last week. I know she came on, and Victoria from Carnivore after the age of 40 on Facebook. And because Mark is away and on holiday, we still have to mention his beautiful name. He is Fitness Beyond Time 01 on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're interested in working with him, I think it's NSMark93 at Gmail. And you can also check out his Carnivore Evolution podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, where he goes one-on-one, in-depth into these carnivore stories. And we're going to bring Jonathan back in for a couple of thanks for not abandoning us. But the Carnivore Evolution podcast, Mark is there. And Peter.
Well, I am the Dutch carnivore, so DUTCH. And you can find me on, well, meanwhile, we lost Jonathan again.
That's awesome.
You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and mostly TikTok and Instagram.
And of course, you can find me at TonyStewartCoaching.com. I'm setting up a course that's starting in September. If you want to take, I'll put the link in the description. I'm trying to reach people that aren't carnivores to explain some stuff. And I may ask both of you guys to guest on a talk that I'm going to be hosting. It's to help people come around to this way of thinking, the mindset aspect. And I think it's really important. And you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at Tony_Food for Thought. And this is the Meat of the Matter podcast. I want to thank Jonathan again. Thanks for coming and helping us out and being a little bit of a twist today. And we are here live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe. We love you all. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you all for all the support. And I just wanted to mention I will be on Jason Atkinson on Monday, Reshape Your Life at 9:30 in the morning, my time. So thank you all. Rick, thanks, buddy. Good to see you. And hopefully we can have you on, and we appreciate it. Please subscribe to Carnivore Beats YT and Carnivore Beats on TikTok. Byron, we really do appreciate all the stuff you do for us and the music background. Check them out. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.